black spiced rum, pineapple juice. Mix the two together, and for me, it's like going to heaven. It's pure nectar, and I could drink triples all night long. Unfortunately, there is a price to pay. All right, it is another wonderful morning. I'm back at the beautiful Rowley Pools. It's just 23 degrees, and later today, it's going up to a stifling 40 degrees. And today, I want to talk about alcohol. Buying my first bottle in 7 years, super strange feeling. So, quick backstory. 10 years ago, I was a big binge drinker. And at that point is when I decided I really wanted to make a change. And it took about 3 years before I was able to stop completely. I used to love going to beach parties. It was very enjoyable to me, which made it much harder to stop. So for the last 7 years, I've been completely sober. And then more recently, I've felt like I've wanted a bit of balance in my life. And I have anguished over how I would bring alcohol back in if I was to do that. So looking at the evidence out there, it's pretty well known that if you have one drink and maybe 2 standard drinks, you're gonna be okay. Now, from my experience, I found that just 1 shot, which in Australia is 30 milliliters of spirits, that is absolutely fine. When I had a second drink, I found that the first drink was good enough, and the second drink just gave me a little bit more of a headache the next day. Yes, if you are drinking a lot at the moment and you're thinking 2 shots and you're having a headache the next day, yes, if you're not drinking, you really do notice these things. So what does one do? So a couple of days ago, I had my first drink in 7 years. It was a nice occasion with a friend, and I feel like I'm bringing a little bit more balance back into my life. So what would I advise? Well, if you have 1 drink a week, you're going to be absolutely fine. It's really not going to do you much damage, and you are going to be able to reach your fitness goals. The next day after that drink, I felt absolutely fine. Tiny little bit noticeable in my head, but physically absolutely fine. So I would say don't go above 2 standard shots. In Australia, that would be 30 ml times 2. If you do that, you're starting to go into territory where you're going to get a bit of a hangover. It's not going to be good for your health, etc. And then with sleep, it is recommended to not have the drink more than 4 hours before you sleep. So if you want to sleep at 9 p.m, obviously your last drink should be at 5 p.m. You're going to have a couple of hours between 5 and 7 p.m. where you're really enjoying the buzz of the alcohol, that 1 or 2 shots, and then from 7 to 9 it's going to be leaving your system. You should be in a good position to sleep by 9 p.m. All importantly, don't forget to drink a decent amount of water after you've had the alcohol, and that should really help with reducing any headaches. And the last thing I would say is, if you yourself are struggling to stop drinking excessive amounts, perhaps you love to party, don't feel like you can't ask me a question. I myself struggled a lot, and I think maturity, living life experiences really help with stopping. So I've been there, I've done it, have tons of experience with both alcohol and fitness. Ask me a question. All the best to everybody out there.